Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel Sumit's Academic Zone. Today's video is all about a topic that every student, researcher and project writer must understand, and it's about research methodology. Whether you are preparing an IGNOU project, writing a dissertation, or simply trying to understand how research actually works, then this video will break everything down in a clear, simple and practical way. We will cover what research methodology means, why it is important, and the major components like research design, sampling, data collection, and analysis. By the end of the video, you will be confident enough to write or understand this topic in an easy way. So let's get started. What exactly research methodology is? So I am taking you to the notes I have made for you to make you each and everything understand. Now let's begin from the very beginning. Meaning of research methodology. What is research methodology? If you have gone through the guidelines of your project report, you must have seen that there is a particular chapter for research methodology. So let's understand what is it. Research methodology refers to the systematic and scientific method, procedure and techniques used to identify a research problem, collect data, analyze the data and interpret the findings. It tells us how the research will be conducted and why a particular method is chosen. Okay, so basically research methodology is a technique in which we define the research problem, we collect the data for our project work and analyze it. Okay, now let's understand it here. Methodology is the roadmap of your research. It guides every step: how you select participants, how you collect data, what tools you use, and how you analyze information. So it's a roadmap. It's a particular guide which guides your project work or research. Okay, how you select participants, how to collect data, and what tools you use. Okay, so this is basically research methodology. Research methodology helps ensure the research is scientific, reliable, valid and objective. So research methodology gives your research work a particular way in which your research flows. Okay, why methodology is needed? Because it answers two very important questions. Okay, how will the research be conducted? Okay, through a survey, interview or observation. The first question that methodology answers is how will the research be conducted? Through survey or interview or observation. Second question, why will a particular method be used? Okay, so if you're going to use a particular method in your research, it also explains, the research methodology also explains why this method is going to be used in research work. So the answer is because it cost effective, suitable for the topic or easier for respondents. So whatever may be the answer as per your research you are conducting. Okay, this makes the study credible, systematic, and academically strong. Now, what are the components of research methodology? So, in most of the university projects, researcher uses these steps in research methodology. Okay, so these are the components of methodology: research design, population, sample and sampling technique, nature and source of data, tools for data collection procedure, data analysis technique, ethical consideration, limitation of methodology. Okay, so we're gonna understand everything here. Okay, let's talk about research design. What is research design? Okay, a research design is the overall plan or blueprint of the study. It specifies what data to collect, how to collect it, from whom to collect it, and how to analyze it. If research were building, the research design would be the architectural plan. Okay, so you can understand it. That is the most important part of research methodology. This is research design. Okay, now what are the types of research design you have to understand? Okay, the first research design is frequently used in research work is descriptive research design. This design is used when the researcher wants to describe characteristics of a population or phenomenon. Okay, like it does not test cause-effect relationship. Instead, it answers what is happening and what exists. Okay, so let's understand this particular thing with an example. A study describing job satisfaction among 200 teachers. Here, the researchers simply collect the data and describe the findings. Okay, so 200 teachers are the population in this study, and job satisfaction is characteristics. Okay, so in descriptive research design, it explains the characteristics of a population. That's why it is called descriptive research design. It does not study cause-effect relationship. Okay, it's only describe the characteristic of a variable. Okay, now let's talk about the second type of research design, which is exploratory research design. Okay, used when the problem is not clearly defined or when the researcher wants to explore new insights. Okay, when the problem is not clearly defined, it answers why might this be happening, what factors are involved. So let's understand it with an example. Exploring why students rarely use the college library. Okay, in this type of research generates idea, patterns, and direction for future research. Okay, so basically, as per the example, we can understand that the exploratory research design understand the things like how a particular thing is being done. Okay, it talks about generating ideas and gives a direction for other future researches as well. Okay, so that is exploratory research design. Now let's talk about the third one, experimental research design. This design focuses on cause-effect relationship. The researcher manipulates one variable to see its impact on another. Okay, now understand it with as an example. Comparing teaching method A and method B to see which leads to better student performance. This design is mostly used in scientific and psychological studies like Masters of Arts in Psychology, Bachelors of Arts in Psychology, and etc. Okay, now let's talk about the fourth one, analytical research design. Analytical research design is basically, this design involves analyzing existing data that is already available. The researcher does not collect new data but evaluates data from book reports or database. Okay, for example, analyzing trends in Indian GDP growth using RBI and government reports. So the analytical research design is something which describe the data which already exist, okay, and does not talk about the new data or does not show the interest in collecting new data. Okay, now let's talk about the population. What is population? Okay, population is population refers to the entire group of individual events or items that the researcher is interested in studying. Example, for teaching, all school teachers in Jammu, all hospital nurses in Delhi, all customers of SBI Bank in India. If the research includes everyone who fits the study criteria, they are a part of a population. So I'm just making you understand with an example. If you are studying the job satisfaction of teachers of Jammu, then all the teacher working in Jammu would be your population. Okay, or you can also take it like this. If you are studying the job satisfaction of primary teachers of particular village of Jammu, then the primary teacher of that village would be the population of your uh, research work. Okay, now let's talk about type of population. First is target population, then accessible population. The whole group the research wants to generalize results to the part of the population the researcher can actually reach. Okay, so accessible population where you have the access, and target population is the whole group the researcher wants to realize results to. Okay, now let's talk about sample and sampling technique. What is sample? A sample is small part of your population selected for the study. I already told you that if you are starting the primary school teachers of a village of Jammu, then every teacher of that particular village would be the population, but the selected, if you are selecting 50 or 100 teachers from that village through any sampling method, that would be the sample of the project work. Okay, a sample is a small part of population selected for the study. Example, from 1000 teachers, selecting 200 teachers for the research. Why sampling is needed? Because studying the entire population is usually time consuming, expensive, difficult to manage, unnecessary when good sample can represent the whole. If the sample is representative, the result can be generalized. Okay, so you cannot study all 1000 teachers in that particular place, so you are just taking the samples from it and you are studying 200 people only. Okay, now let's talk about types of sampling. Probability sampling. Each number of the population has an equal or known chance of being selected. Okay, this is the characteristic of probability sampling. If you are probably taking the samples from the population, each each sample would have equal chance of being selected. Okay, now simple random sampling. So under probability sampling, we are studying it. The simple random sampling. Everyone has an equal chance. Example: lottery method of random number generator. So through lottery method, if we are taking samples, that would be the simple random sampling. So this is just an example. In random sampling, a part of the lottery method, other methods are being used. Just understand it that any sample would be taken from anywhere, so it has equal chance to be selected. Now stratified sampling. Population is divided into groups called strata, such as gender, age, income. Then sample are taken proportionately from age. Okay, like just I'm taking the example here. The study college student 50 males and 50 females. Okay, so the entire the entire population would be divided into groups. Okay, and then the sample will be selected. This is stratified sampling. Now systematic sampling. Selecting every ninth person from a list. Example: if n is equal to 10, you select the 10th, 12th, 30th person and so on. This is systematic sampling. There is a system of taking a sample from the population. Okay, it can be 5th, 15th, 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th. So it depends upon the formula that you have to use in it. Okay, like if the population is 100, okay, if the population is 1000 and you want to select 100 sample, you can divide the population with the sample, like 1000 divided by 100, and it comes 10. Okay, so you will be taking the 10th sample of the population here. That is what given here: 10th, 20th, 30th, and so on. Now cluster sampling. Instead of individuals, entire group cluster are selected, choosing 5 schools out of 50 schools and serving all students in those schools. Okay, so here a sample wouldn't be collected. The schools are chosen, and the students of those schools would be the sample for the study. Now it's after probability sampling, we studied its types. The types of probability sampling is simple random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, cluster sampling, and now we are studying non-probability sampling. The first is convenience sampling. Convenience sampling is something in which the sample would be collected as per the convenience of the researcher. Okay. Purposive sampling. Selecting respondents for a specific purpose. Choosing only doctors for a study of medical ethics is purposive sampling. Now quota sampling. Selecting respondent based on fixed quota, like 50 man, 50 women would be the quota sampling. Okay. Now snowball sampling. Existing respondents refers new participants, useful for hard to find groups like drug addicts, transgenders communities, are snowball sampling. Now let's talk about nature and source of data. So there would be two main source, primary and secondary data. Okay, so under primary data collected first hand by the researcher would be the primary data. Source of primary data would be questionnaire, interview, observation, focused group discussion, experiments. Okay, Now the secondary data. What is secondary data? Data that already exist. Source of the secondary data is books, journal, government reports, online database, previous research studies. These thesis and dissertations would be the secondary data. Now another thing is tools and techniques of a data collection. Questionnaire. Tools and techniques of data collection. So first tool of data collection is questionnaire, a written list of questions given to respondents. Types of questions. Inside the questionnaire, what kind of questions you are going to put is given here. Multiple choice, yes, no, rating skills, Likert scale, ranking questions, open-ended question. Okay. Now interview, a method where the researcher directly asks the questions. Structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Observation, researcher collects data by watching respondents. Okay, participants observation, non-participant observation. A schedule, a tool similar to questionnaire but filled by the researcher, not the respondent. Useful when respondents are illiterate or need assistance. Checklist, a list of behaviors or items that are checked as present or absent. Data collection procedure. This explains how the data was collected. Example. Procedure ready to. Okay. Data collection procedure. This example how the data was collected. Okay. Permission was obtained from the school authorities. The questionnaire was distributed to selected students. Students were given 20 minutes to respond. The researcher clarified doubts when necessary. Completed questionnaires were collected the same day. So, data collection procedure can be done through these ways. Okay. And in your research work, you always write the data collection procedure in past tense noted. Now we will be talking about tools and techniques of data analysis. After collecting your data, you have to represent your data as well. Like here for quantitative data, frequency, percentage, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, correlation, regression, t-test, ANOVA are the major statistical tools which are used to analyze your data, okay, as per the need. Quantitative analysis deal with numbers. It helps us measure pattern and relationships. So now here we talked about quantitative data. Now we are talking about qualitative data. Qualitative data is analyzed through coding, categorizing, theming, content analysis. Okay, qualitative analysis involves explaining meaning, opinion, experience, and other themes of the collected qualitative data. Now let's talk about ethical consideration. Research must be morally responsible. Key ethical points. Participant must be voluntary. Respondents must give informed content. Data must remain confidential. No harm should come to participants. Findings must be reported honestly. All resources must be properly referenced, and plagiarism must be strictly avoided. Okay. Now we talk about limitation of methodology. It's optional where if you're putting or not. So small sample size, limited time, limited financial resources, difficulty in accessing respondents, restricted geographical areas are some of the limitations of methodology. Okay. Structure of a complete research methodology chapter. Okay, so this is the last point we're going to discuss about research methodology. This is the overall the content that your research methodology must have. Introduction to methodology. Okay, what the methodology is, you have to write in the beginning of the research methodology chapter you have given in your project report. And the second thing is research design. We already discussed. Okay, what is research design? Basically, the research design reflects how how you continue to um, collect, analyze, and represent your findings in your project work. Okay. Uh, Another thing is population. Uh, the fourth point is sample and sampling technique, nature and source of data, primary, secondary. We already discussed. Tools of data collection, procedure of data collection, data analysis techniques, ethical consideration, and limitation of research methodology. So these all things we already have discussed in the video. Now I would request, if I missed anything or if you want to understand more about any particular topic, you can write in the comment box. I'll definitely answer those and make another video for your understanding. Okay, so this was all in this particular video. I hope this video help you understand the concept more clearly and give you the confidence to apply them in your own project or research work. If you found the explanation useful, make sure to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming videos on data analysis, questionnaire design, literature review writing and many more research related topics. If you have any doubts or want a video on a specific chapter, just drop it in the comments below. And also, if you want any customized project in your own particular topic of any course from any university, you can contact us. We'll definitely help you with that, and you'll get the customized project in a reasonable rate. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.